questions, Your Honor.
What are your keys to success?
My keys to success are kind of what I touched on in the educational minute. I think that building relationships. I tell all my guys at the gym, it's not necessarily the training session you give these people. It's the relationship you cultivate with them. It's people knowing that you're ethical, that you're going to stand behind your word, that you're going to deliver results, that you're going to treat people right, and building a solid relationship with others so that they continue to work with you and refer you to others. That's it. Am I ready to go?
You go for it.
Okay, so I practiced this a million times in my living room. I had a demonstration planned, I had notes planned. Every time I practiced it, I ended up in a different direction. So I'm gonna kind of go a little bit of a different route. I'm just gonna wing it, and I'm gonna let my passion speak for itself, and hopefully that plays to my favor. So what I want to do today is I want to tell you guys a little bit about myself, where I came from, and then what my gym has to offer and why I think we're different than most. So basically, in terms of me, fitness is something I struggled with my whole life. I grew up really scrawny, and when most people think of getting in shape, they think of being overweight and losing the weight. But whether you're skinny, overweight, in shape, everybody has insecurities they have to deal with, and they have to deal with them in their own way. So as a young boy, being scrawny and having no muscle was tough for me. It was something I battled. And I had tried time and time again to get in shape, and I continuously failed. I came up short. And every time I failed, I would give myself a different excuse. Oh, you don't have the same genetics as other people. You don't have the money to buy the supplements. You don't have the same genes or the same body frame. You just can't have those results, Austyn. I would always justify it to myself on the reason for my failure. And then, I've had a few moments in my life where something just kind of clicked, and I said, that's it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna get this done regardless of what happens. I'm not gonna make any excuses. And I had one of those moments in my kitchen one day. I was looking at a magazine, and there was this guy that was just in incredible shape. And I said to myself, I said, you know what? He's a human being, I'm a human being. He has 24 hours in a day, I have 24 hours in a day. If he can do it, there's no reason I can't do it. So from that point on, I made a decision that I was gonna give it everything I had. I was gonna change my lifestyle. And at the end of it, I was gonna have no excuses to give myself. So when I was younger, I was about 22 when this happened. To be honest, that's all I cared about was females and partying. So I was out drinking 4 or 5 nights a week with my friends. I had no job. I would work side jobs of construction with my father to pay the bills every once in a while, and then half the money I would make, I would spend on booze. So when I decided to do this, I changed my entire lifestyle. I changed my habits. I stopped hanging out with my friends. I stopped going to parties. I stopped doing it all, and I gave everything I had to fitness. I made a lot of sacrifices, and I took a lot of shit for it. I had a lot of my friends make fun of me. Oh, big guy needs his protein shakes. He has to work out. He can't come and hang out with us anymore. And I just knew that these people don't understand what I'm going through. I've made a commitment to myself, and no matter what, I'm going to achieve this, regardless of what everybody else around me says. So I stopped hanging out with everybody. I was spending my Friday nights as a 22-year-old inside researching fitness, going to the gym 6 times a week, and it's a constant mental battle. I'm telling myself, hey, I'm 22 years old, all my friends are at the beach partying, having a great time. I'm doing this fitness stuff, am I wasting my time? It's a battle I suffered every single day. And I didn't have a personal trainer to motivate me, I didn't have anybody to help me. I wish I did because I would have saved a lot of time. But I did a lot of research online, and I found a guy named Greg Plitt, and I followed his website, and every time I was struggling mentally, I would pull his videos up. And when I watched his videos, it would remind me of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And it would give me that drive to keep going. And when it comes to personal training, it's not 30% physical, 70% diet, it's 100% mental. If you're not mentally on track, you're not gonna do what you need to do long term. All right, you can try and make all these little physical changes, but if you're not changing your mental state, your lifestyle, and your habits, those changes aren't going to last throughout. You're going to end up falling off track. So what I did was, every time, like I said, every time I struggled mentally, I would watch his videos, and I would kind of remember my why and why I started. And what we do at Austyn Fitness is we help people show them their why. So a lot of people say, I ask people, why do you want to get in shape? And they say, well, I want to look good. And there's so much more than the vanity of looking good. It's, I want to be more attracted to my spouse. I want to have more energy when I play with my kids. I want to walk out of the house feeling beautiful and confident and not insecure. I want to add quality years to my life and be healthy. Those are the real whys of why people genuinely want to get in shape. And you have to find that. And as a personal trainer, you have to dig that out of the person. And every time they're in a slump, you have to remind them of that. And you have to get them refocused, get them remotivated, get them realigned. So I think that all these trainers take the systematic approach of nutrition and numbers and repetitions, and all that stuff's great, but anybody can give you a workout plan. You can go on YouTube and get a workout plan. Or you can go on YouTube and get a meal plan. A real trainer, somebody that's good, somebody that's gonna genuinely help you, is somebody that can realign your focus when you're struggling. When you feel like you're falling off track, it's somebody that can kind of reel you back in and say, hey, this is why you're doing it. Let's not stray off course, let's get back on track. If you have a bad day, it's not a big deal. We can fix things. You know, there's times where I've had clients that I've been training and I can see they're just not in it. You know, they're stressed, they're anxious, whatever the case may be, I'll pull them right out of the personal training session. We'll go in my office and we'll talk. And that's what personal training is about. It's about building a relationship with that client, having them trust you to be able to confide in you, and not only make that personal training session a physical therapy session, but a mental therapy session. Having these people walk in and get what they need from you all around so that when they walk out, they're ready to attack their day. They're feeling good about themselves and confident and not feeling beaten down and run down through everyday stress and life. And if you can do that with your client, if you can realign their focus when they slip up in terms of their mental state, they're much more likely to do what they need to do outside of the gym. All right, so if somebody comes in and they're super stressed and I just continue to work out and say, all right, I'll see you next week, they're gonna go home, they're not gonna eat the chicken, they're gonna eat the cheesecake. They're not gonna wake up at 5 a.m. the next day, they're gonna sleep in. You know, but if I can realign their focus and get them on track mentally, they're gonna do what they need to do physically in terms of nutrition. So if you can align somebody's mental state, all the rest will fall into place. And that's the approach we take at Austyn Fitness, is we really try and help people not only educate them on how to train, but teach them how to fit a plan to their lifestyle so that they can maintain it. All right, everybody's different. We all respond differently to nutrition, to workouts, things like that. So we need to find a plan that fits your lifestyle, that fits your hectic schedule, that fits your timeline, and ultimately one that you're gonna stick to and one that you're passionate about and interested in. You don't wanna go and do the same boring old routine every time. You gotta find something that's of interest to you. And on top of that, we also educate you in the process. I think that a lot of personal trainers, they tell you just what you need to know because they want that sense of job security. And in my opinion, if you explain the value and explain why you need to do these things, people are much more likely to do it. It's just like your kids. Well, mommy, why do I have to do this? You sit down and explain to them why and explain the value and importance of it, they're much more likely to do it. And it's the same thing for us as adults. If I say, hey, Eric, drink this water, eat chicken, and you'll get in shape, well, okay. But then if I say, hey, when you work out, there's all these muscle fibers that are intertwined. All right, your body breaks down these muscle fibers, and then when you leave a gym, everybody thinks your transformation happens in the gym. It happens outside of the gym. It happens in your recovery. When you work out, you break down all these muscles, you deplete all of this energy. When you leave a gym, your body's like, hey, what the hell did you just do to me? You just beat me up. I gotta repair and rebuild everything that you broke down for the next 2 or 3 days. So I'm gonna take all that water and I'm gonna shuttle all the nutrients to the muscle. I'm gonna take that chicken and I'm gonna break it down and pull all the amino acids out of it, shuttle them into the muscle so that the muscle can rebuild bigger and stronger. I'm gonna take all those carbs and reboost your energy levels. I'm gonna take all those healthy fats and lubricate your joints and regulate your hormones. Your body takes all these little things that you do in that recovery phase, and that's where you get your transformation. And a lot of people, they think that, you know, as long as I get my workout in and I have a protein shake and don't have a hamburger at night, I'll get great results. And it's just not that simple. You have to, I always say that personal training is like a mathematical equation. You have to have all the steps set in place to get the proper results. So when you come to Austyn Fitness, you get a whole plan that's customized to your lifestyle. I mean, we go as far as telling you what time to eat certain things because there's certain people that they can't eat 6 meals a day. They're driving in their car all day. So we have to change their meal plan and give them things like shakes. Blend your food up into shakes and get your nutrition in that way. But if you don't have a set plan in terms of nutrition, sleep, recovery, hydration, stress-free environment, all these things, your body's not going to give you the results that you want. Your body's not going to give you what you want if you're not giving it what it needs. So when you come to us, we provide you with a foolproof plan that is customized to your lifestyle. And the biggest thing is if something isn't working, we change it. And a lot of people, once something's not working, they kind of give up, they get discouraged. It's a trainer's job to remotivate you and say, hey, we just need to figure your body out, we need to figure out your strengths, we need to figure out your weaknesses, and then we adjust from there. And if something's not working, it's simple, we just change it. In my opinion, failure only happens when you give up on something altogether. All right, you're going to come to bumps in the road. You're going to have things that don't work for you. You're going to fail at times. But if you give up, that's the true failure. It's when you push past those and learn from your experiences. That's when you can really succeed. And you're going to have those times in fitness where your body plateaus because your body's going to adapt to what you're doing. So you're going to have those times where your body says, "Hey, we're strong enough to handle this weight now. We're getting fed enough calories to maintain this weight. We're not going to drop anymore. We're not going to build any more muscle." That's when it's up to your trainer to change things up and adjust your program. You can't do the same long-term program and expect to continuously get results because that's all your body's doing is it's trying to adapt to what you're putting it through. So if you're putting a heavy weight demand on your body says, "Hey, we can't support that. We need to build muscle to keep up." If you're in a caloric restriction and you're eating less, your body says, "Hey, we need to get rid of some of the body fat because we can't continue to function at the limited calories you're putting in." That's all your body's doing is adapting to your situation. So you have to constantly switch it up, confuse the body, and force it to continue to make those adaptations. And the last thing that I want to leave you guys with is don't procrastinate. Now, I'm not necessarily speaking to you specifically. I'm just saying hypothetically. So many people procrastinate when it comes to their health and their body. Well, I'll wait till after the holidays. I'm just a little too busy right now. Imagine if you procrastinated with your career like people do with their health. Well, I don't want to start that project in business because the holidays are too busy right now. Well, I don't have the finances. I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to work. I'll go in late today. You wouldn't go anywhere in business. You know what I mean? Or imagine if you procrastinated with your kids. Johnny doesn't need the doctor's appointment this week. We're tight on money. We'll bring him in 2 months. You know, people don't procrastinate on things that are priorities in their life. And the problem is people don't take their health as a priority, and it should be. So, you know, my biggest advice to you would be, if you're unhappy with your current situation, figure out a plan, give yourself a deadline, create a plan of execution to achieve those goals, and don't procrastinate anymore. You know, get to it and make it happen, because at the end of the day, we don't know what tomorrow brings. And the last thing you want to do is start a plan or a program when it's a little bit too late and you're suffering from something that could potentially be irreversible. So that's what we do at Austyn Fitness. We help customize a plan to you. And I guess now I can open it up for questions.
Any questions?
Nobody's got any questions? Give me some weight loss question. Give me something.
We can't, we're feeling guilty.
I know.
All right, I got one. Austyn, is it better if you want to control your weight to eat small amounts of food constantly during the day, or?
At the end of the day, it's really calories in versus calories out. The important thing is those calories have to be, your macronutrients have to be balanced. So you can't just, you could eat limited calories, but it can't just be all carbohydrates. You know, a lot of people, I'd say 99% of people are insufficient on their protein. So you're doing all these workouts, you're breaking all this muscle down, and then you're not giving your body the protein it needs, the fuel it needs to rebuild the muscle. So you're not getting the maximum effect from your workout. You know, and a lot of people, when they try and eat healthy, they dive into fruits and salads. Yes, fruits have a ton of vitamins and minerals in them, but why do you think they taste so good? Because they're loaded with sugar. So if you're trying to be healthy and make these green smoothies with a pineapple and a banana and oranges and blueberries, that's more grams of sugar than a Snickers bar has. You know what I mean? And in terms of salads and stuff, this is the main problem is people don't eat enough. And what happens is if you undereat and you just get nutrition from things like salads and stuff, or if you just eat breakfast and then don't eat all day long, again, your body's going to adapt to that. And your body's going to say, hey, if you're not feeding me enough, I'm going to slow this metabolism way down so I can adjust to what you're doing. And the last thing your body's going to do is attack that muscle. It's going to say, hey, attack that fat. It's going to say, if you're not feeding me, I need that fat. That's my survival mechanism. That's not going anywhere. I'm going to attack the muscle because that's very easy to break down. It's instant energy. So you're going to end up losing weight on a scale, and you're going to end up losing a lot of muscle, not body fat. And that's how people end up, I'm sure you've heard the term skinny fat. It's because people crash diet themselves into their body eating up all the muscle. And I always say, you can gain 100 pounds of fat in a year, lose 100 pounds of fat in a year. If you're lucky, you can gain 8 pounds of muscle in a year. So it's not easy to put muscle on. That's the last thing you want to do is have your body strip that away.
How do you deal with someone who's very passionate about themselves being a vegetarian?
We customize a plan to fit